Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to talk about perfectionism and how it relates to reselling and how a lot of resellers sometimes act like they are still in school or like they're still trying to please an employer, when in reality those types of beliefs oftentimes hold you back. So if you're into that type of thing, stick around and let's talk about it. One major difference between something like school or a job and between reselling is that there are multiple different ways to do the same thing in reselling, whereas sometimes in school, answers are laid out pretty concretely, black or white, yes or no, 2 plus 2 is 4, like the fact of history is this, etc., etc. There's one correct answer. And so when people who are in that system, and that's most of us, go to something like reselling, we get very paralyzed and stuck and in information paralysis because we want to know the best way to do a shipment, or the best way to start an Amazon seller account, or the best way to source products, or the most efficient category to sell in. And the reality is those answers are gray and those answers are not black and white. So sometimes it takes a bit of getting outside of that yes or no, black or white perspective in order to be able to make any progress, any forward motion with reselling. So where does this belief that things need to be black or white, yes or no, and absolutely correct or absolutely not correct come from? It's hard to say exactly where it comes from, but part of the reason that we think like that, and I think like that sometimes too, is because I'm in search of the most efficient thing, or the thing that's gonna save me the most time, the thing that's gonna keep me from the most failure. I'm not okay with the thing that makes 15% less than the other option, because I wanna make the max amount that I can. I wanna save the most amount of time. I am wanting to eliminate all failure. Kind of like in school when you wrote a paper or when you did your math homework, and the goal was always to get 100%. It wasn't to get 85%. It was to get 100%. You have to get everything 100% perfectly. I mean, that's how a lot of people went at it. So sometimes people go into reselling that same way. I'm guilty of this as well. I'm scared to try a certain category because I have fear of missing out on the other good categories, or I'm scared of making a mistake with money because I might pay a little bit of interest, or I'm scared of buying a certain item because I don't know how to ship it. There's a strong desire to do the maximally best thing, the most efficient thing, and the thing that will eliminate as much failure as possible. And that makes sense, but we have to be okay with more failure than that, because if we go through life like that and we go through reselling like that, we're gonna miss a lot of opportunities and not go for a lot of things that we should be going for, because we're wanting to always hit our goals. And if we had set higher goals, we would have failed more. So would you rather fail your goals and make another 40K a year on top of what you were already making, or would you rather just hit your goals every year and make an okay amount? Sometimes that's literally as dramatic as it is. You have to be okay with failing, and you have to be okay with not doing the most efficient thing, and you have to be okay with making some mistakes. It's very cliche to say, but you do have to be okay with making some mistakes and not hitting all your goals, and that way you cannot be scared of failing and actually achieve your goals. So a big picture summary of this video is that we are often in a system where we feel like everything is black and white, when really the world is gray. And that is a very black and white way of saying this, but the world is not yes or no, 100% correct or 100% incorrect. There's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of nuance to reselling. There's a lot of different ways to ship an item. There's a lot of different ways to source an item, and it's very impossible to do it 100% correctly. So we have to get out of that mindset of trying to get everything 100% correct in order to set the correct goals for ourselves and do as well as we can. Hit the like if you haven't already, and subscribe, and hopefully this is helpful. Thanks for watching, and take care.